por ese movimiento. El tiro a tercera. Gators on baseball. Yeah, you know the name.
What's up, everybody? Schmitty and Kristen with a post-series wrap-up of the San Francisco Giants and the Philadelphia Phillies. It was a 2-2 split in the series. Giants lost today 6-4. They went up against a tough Phillies starter. Sanchez threw, I think, 12 strikeouts, and what's his name? Hicks had a real rough first inning, but yeah, I'm not feeling too bad about the overall series. Leaving Philadelphia with a split is I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take a split in Philly. Philly's tough. I mean, they haven't been playing their best baseball lately, but yeah, anytime you can go into a hostile environment and take a split out 4 games on the road, that's not bad. And hopefully they get into LA and get enough rest for the Anaheim series. Yeah, the first inning today with Hit was just a disaster, I'd say, especially since the Giants carved out 1 run at the top of the first, and it was like, dude, really? And he didn't have it. And then, to be fair, I mean, after that, he pretty much locked it down. I mean, he wasn't his sharpest, and he was getting squeezed by the umpire. There was a little friction there. I don't know if you noticed that when Trey Turner was batting and he threw a pitch and it was pretty much a perfect strike, and the umpire called it a ball, and he was talking to Turner as the ball came in, like it wasn't even as if he wasn't paying attention. But we all know Phil Cuzzy's kind of a punk umpire anyway. I was texting Eric and I'm like,
forever.
Yeah, I said, Phil Cuzzy's the new Angel Hernandez, and he replied back and he said Laz Diaz and somebody else is they're also on that list. And then I said, yeah, don't forget Marquez, because Marquez is terrible too. But that's just part of the game, man. Umpires are going to be umpires, and you can't really do much about it. So the Chapman home run was nice. I like that. Thought they were going to mount a comeback, but it just wasn't happening. Schmidt reverted to his old swinging at low outside pitches, which was kind of disappointing to see. Matos had a rough day. I think he hit 2 balls hard, but both of them found leather and not grass. But yeah, I mean, the split's cool. I feel like we have to get around to my favorite topic, the backup catcher.
Well, there's a lot of things that I was going into this game going, oh, this is interesting. And for me, I felt this way year after year, and I don't know enough about it to really understand it. But when a team plays 4 games against the same team and they go up against one of their tougher pitchers and they put that many people into the starting lineup that aren't their starters, it almost feels like they're just not, like, it seems like they're like, we're not going to win this game. Like, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to rest everyone on the same day. Like, you don't have Bailey, you don't have Adames at short, you don't have, you got Schmidt at first, you got Koss at shortstop, and you got Huff at catcher, and there's no Jung-Hoo Lee. It's just like you almost took as many people out as you could at the same game. And if you're going to let these guys rest, which I don't know if Jung-Hoo Lee even wants to rest, but let's just say you do, I think you got to sprinkle it out a little. I think give Jung-Hoo Lee a day off earlier in the series and then give Adames a day off or somebody else. So it's not just this impactful thing where it's like, I don't know, if I'm Jordan Hicks, I look around and I'm kind of like, I don't even have our best catcher, and now I don't have our best backup either. Like, center fielder is, who was playing center today? Matos or Yaz?
Matos was in center today.
Yeah,
Yaz was, I think, in right still.
Yeah, so it's just interesting. Matos went back on a play that guy is reckless. He's I love him, but he's made a few plays where he crashes into walls, and it seems like he could have just made it a lot easier on himself by making a better route to the ball. But today, I thought he was out on that one.
Yeah, he got, I mean, he wasn't playing all that shallow, but that ball was smoked. I mean, that was dead center, right? And he was in a full sprint trying. He made a great effort to get there, and I think there was a split second of hesitation as the ball was coming to his glove when he realized, like, I'm about to take a header into the wall, and he didn't close his glove on it. Would have been a fantastic catch. It was a great effort, but yeah, I mean, that's imagine if that was Lee. I mean, we might lose him again for another year, right? So Matos is a little more
I was
built.
thinking that.
I think it's, I never have a problem with guys going all out to try to get a ball. I don't want to see him hurt, but I also think that effort is something that you really got to, you got to applaud, because not every player in the league is going to put themselves on the line to make a catch, you made a good point. I mean, the lineup being so many changes, swap outs, and it was strange to see Adames as a DH, right? And see Koss at short. Like, Koss just hasn't gotten much playing time in the field since spring training, so he might have a little rust on him, I think, And I also feel like maybe he's more
ready for it yet. The game looks
he might
way
not
too
be,
fast for him. He looks like he's like jitter. I don't know. And at the plate, he's looked overmatched every time. I don't know what to do there. I feel like him and Bivens are like this story. It's kind of like Vogelsong. It's like, oh, they got this story, but it's like, yeah, but what do they do when they're playing? Like, I don't care about the story that much. And Koss just he had a great story. He came in and he got, the opening day lineup and all that, but I think they need to do better with that backup position, and I think they can.
Well, who is it? I mean, who's in Sacramento that you bring?
I don't know that it needs to be in Sacramento.
Obviously,
I think that they can trade.
What do you do?
A backup player is like a backup player. It's not hard to, you can trade for one, or, I don't know what Wisely's doing down there, but Wisely at least has the experience where he's looks a little more in control. I mean, I don't dislike Koss. It's just, I hate to see all these guys in at the same time. It just seems way more obvious that we don't have, like, it feels like we have this deep lineup, and then you put them all in at the same time and you're like, oh wait, do we have a deep lineup? Like, it just felt like kind of like a lot of rust in a lot of areas. The backup catcher, it's a problem. And I don't know, it's still early, as we all say, and the Giants keep winning. So if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. But I think there's areas. I mean, I don't know how much longer they're going to give Lamont Wade. He's looked horrible. And I think that they can easily almost just bring up VR. As much as I don't like VR, like, I think he's going to give a better at bat than Wade is, even though he's a right-handed hitter.
I'll take Wisely over VR, quite honestly, because VR goes down to AAA and smokes it, and as soon as he gets up to the majors, he doesn't do anything. Like,
I know he's a 4A player forever.
Repetitive cycle, and Wisely has actually gotten some work done with the Giants, and he's had some clutch hits, and he's made some good defensive plays. I would take him over VR. I mean, neither one is really that attractive to me, but. I think I would take Wisely.
Well, does it seem to you like Koss and Schmidt are the same player? I mean, similar. They're playing the same position, kind of.
No, I think Schmidt has a higher ceiling.
Well, yeah, but I'm
Schmidt's
saying it's like you got two shortstops, you got two backup shortstops, and you're trying to make Schmidt. Right. It just doesn't make sense. It seems like you should get players that aren't the same. Like, if you had three backup first basemen, would that make sense? It's just, I don't know.
Well, maybe we need to see what Schmidt can do at first base a little more and see, because he seems like he's handled it pretty well when he's played it. And Wade, I would say, let's see at the end of the month. If he hasn't managed to pick himself up by the end of the month, then you got to make some hard decisions. I think today the reason why there were so many substitutions in the lineup is twofold. They were facing a lefty, for one thing, but I also think Melvin probably wanted to give some guys a little bit of a break because they haven't had a day off, right? And they don't have a day off tomorrow. And I think that
No,
he
they have
wants the
17
standard
straight
every day.
games.
Yeah, so I think he wanted the standard everyday guys to get a little bit of rest. I think Adames, he wanted to give a little rest, just have him be DH. Wanted to have Wilmer just kind of chill and be there to pinch hit. And you saw he ran out pinch hitters at the end of the game trying to make something happen. Lee got in on it. Flores got in on it. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not overly concerned. I would have loved to have seen a series win in Philadelphia, and I think it was there today. I think they had an opportunity to get it, and they just couldn't come through when they needed it. The pass balls with Huff, in addition to not being able to hit a lick, doesn't help. And yeah, guys just looked kind of overmatched at the plate. This pitcher today Sanchez was tough, man. He really was tough, and he was getting some friendly calls. So, yeah.
Well,
yeah, I'm with you, D-Bogser. I like it. I like it.
I think that what did we go 2-1 in New York, and then 2-2 in Philly.
Yep.
The thing that really upsets me, and I'm surprised that Melvin and the Giants didn't protest this a little bit. Why the hell, if you're flying from Philly all the way to LA tonight, because you have to play tomorrow, why do they schedule a 4:00 game today? If there's no travel day, they should have at least played a noon game today. It made no sense that they schedule it for 4. So I can understand that, that's probably Bob Melvin thinking, these guys have to rest. We have a big travel day, and then 3 more games against the Angels, and then we come home, and there's no days off. It's 17 straight days. But the travel schedule just seems so bizarre how the teams that are in the Midwest, we talk about this all the time, but the teams that are in the Midwest, they don't have the travel like the Giants, the Mariners, the Padres, and the Dodgers, where it's all the way across country and then all the way back. It's that's a lot. Even if you're traveling, a shuttle flight, it's still 5 hours, whatever. And you got to wake up the next day and play in a new city. It's there's no time off. So I thought that was bizarre.
Well, that's your beloved balanced schedule.
I love the schedule. It has nothing to do with the schedule. They can give a day off between Philly and it's not who they're playing, it's how they're scheduling the days. We're going to give you a day off on Saturday. Why did opening day happen and then there's a day off when they're at home? That makes no sense. And then they're needing a day off and they don't get the day off. So there's totally ways to do it that could be a lot better.
Yeah. Well, and until they invent teleportation, the travel schedules are going to suck for the coastal teams, except for the East Coast teams, because there's way more teams back there, and
but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't know. Do I?
You don't know? I'm saying the travel isn't the problem. It's the scheduling of the travel. They have to go East Coast to West Coast, but it doesn't have to be at 9:00 tonight, their time, because they scheduled a 4:00 game and no day off tomorrow. You see what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, all the teams have to travel. I get that. But the way that they scheduled it for the Giants, they gave them a day off in the beginning, the first 3 games, when they were in the same city. It made no sense. They played Thursday and then had Friday off or something like that. And so they just need to look at these things. They do it to the Warriors all the time, where the Warriors have these fucking back-to-back games. And you're like, dude, this travel needs to be a little chiller when it's East Coast to West Coast. I don't know how the Dodgers and Padres or any of those teams have it, but we seem to get screwed on that from time to time. That's all I'm saying.
Well, both the Dodgers and the Padres have had a pretty soft schedule to start the season. I mean, they're getting the Rockies and the Cubs when the Cubs are missing people. And it's the Padres have won, 11 out of the last 12 at home? And so they've already had basically 12 games at home.
Yeah.
They've had tons of home games, right? And the Giants have only had, by my count, 9 home games? Maybe it's more. I don't know. anyways,
I
it'll
mean,
balance
we've
out
only had
eventually.
one series at home, right? Like 6 games, like one homestand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll be back
Um,
Monday.
so this whole pitching rotation thing, I was of the mind when the season started that there was going to be one weak link in the chain in the rotation, and it was either going to be Verlander or Hicks. And now I'm wondering if there's 2 weak links in the rotation. I'm not really worried about Robbie Ray yet, but Verlander, a little bit of concern there. And then Hicks, I just don't know. I mean, he righted the ship today, but it's like, how many times can you do that? You can't give up a crooked number and then pitch another 6 innings and be like, "Oh, I had a great day." No, dude, he gave up 5 runs. Hicks leads the Giants in earned runs. I think he's got 20 after today, right? And Verlander has given up the most hits, 24 hits or something.
Well, both Ray and Hicks, I think, had 5 walks in their game, which I think is more of the problem for me. These guys need to throw strikes. The same thing as we were talking about Duvall. It's like you can have great stuff. Hicks has great stuff, but if he's walking people and getting the bases loaded with no outs, you're in for a rough inning. So I think it was super courageous and showed like who he is to like kind of put that aside and then just go 6 innings of what he gave up 1 hit in the next 6 innings. So Hicks did a really marvelous job to protect our bullpen, like on this travel situation that we have. If he had gotten taken out in the first inning, we'd probably see Jelly tomorrow. I don't want to see Jelly.
I don't ever want to see Jelly again. I'm glad he's in Sacramento. So, yeah, I mean, I liked Hicks gutting it out after that, but you know, he opened the game with 2 straight walks, right?
Yeah.
He walks the first 2 guys. It's like, shit, man, like that's not how you start an outing. And like Robbie Ray had a rough one the other night, but like he's pitched pretty strong up until that point. Nothing. I mean, yeah, obviously he could be throwing more strikes. I think all these guys could. Verlander too. And you know, that's what happens. The guys try to be too fine. They try to paint, and it's like, yeah, if you don't have pinpoint control on that day, you're going to be walking dudes. It's just the way it is. Especially when you're up against really disciplined hitters like Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, even Schwarber. I mean, these guys are not, they're not amateurs at the plate. These guys know what they're seeing, right? And so the pitcher comes out, shows a little weakness, they're going to exploit it. They know the guy's wild. They're not going to be swinging at anything other than the one pitch they're sitting on.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it sounds to me like from your vibe, you're feeling more optimism, or you're more into Robbie Ray than Hicks. Is that out of the 5 guys, if you had to, which, I mean, because to me, those almost everybody doesn't look that great right now. I think their ceiling's higher than what they're doing. Webb's been good, but like Roop has looked like, I feel like Roop is just going to build momentum and keep getting better. But Hicks and Ray almost had an identical game to me, where they just started out with like all these walks. Ray could not throw a strike if, you know, it was crazy. Matter of fact, who was it? Hicks like almost hit Trey Turner today, and I think that, or he did hit Trey Turner, and that turned into
he did hit him.
Yeah. So I think both those guys have really good stuff, but it's kind of like Duvall to me, where it's like, yeah, but can they control it consistently? And up till now, not really. And it's also one of those things where maybe it's that first inning weirdness, because you've seen it with Webb, where he had rough first innings and then he's just a whole different pitcher. And that seems like that's what happened to Hicks today. He had a horrible first inning and then he turned into a whole different guy and just really did well. We almost came back into the game. So we'll see. I don't know what the thinking is, though. I mean, I know everybody wants to see Birdsong, but it's, to me, all these people talking about, we want to see Birdsong, we want to see Eldridge. I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. Like you're just going through all the guys that, and you're going to be like, oh, this guy's not good either for whatever reason. And you're just like these guys that haven't been here, those are the guys. It's like Eldridge ain't ready. Like he's going to come up and you're going to be like, fuck, this guy sucks. Just like we will with VR. So like, let him be good enough where it's like, look at what he's doing, bring him up, not just bring him up and let's hope that he does what we all want him to do. I think those are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah. You want guys to arrive on a schedule where they're ready to go. No like learning curve. Like they've already achieved that in the minor leagues and now they're ready for the big time.
Yeah.
And Birdsong, I mean,
young.
Birdsong has proven that, yeah, Birdsong can do both. The question is, you know, I kind of felt like at some point, either Hicks or Vogelsong, or not Vogelsong, Verlander, one of those guys is going to fall off. It's just, that's my gut feeling. And that's when, that's when Birdsong comes into the rotation, right? I'm with you on Roop. I think Roop is only going to get better and better each start out. I mean, he's tough. And look, Robbie Ray, I mean, he had a shit game the other night, but he went 6 perfect innings his first start, right? Was that his first start when he was perfect through 6?
Yeah.
And he's been fairly sharp. So I'm not worried. I mean, dude, it was super cold and super windy in Philly. I mean,
that's true.
Seeing Verlander out there in short sleeves with no undershirt, like what? You know,
as Eric would say, that's fair. That's fair.
He used to pitch. Yeah, he used to pitch in Detroit, but I mean, dude, Philadelphia weather, yuck.
Well, do you remember his first game last year in Los Angeles when he came in and just, I think he walked the bases low, walked a run in, like he was horrible. And then he threw a no-hitter the rest of the game. Like it was insane. You thought they were going to pull him in the first inning and then he just went lights out. It's like these guys have a switch that's just, it's interesting to see like that first inning sometimes how they just can't get it. And then all of a sudden they do get it and then they're phenomenal. So it's tough to see.
You know who else had that?
Webb.
Lincecum had that too. Remember? Timmy was notorious for having really bad first innings, right?
Yeah.
Then he come out and strike out 13, 14.
Right. That's what, yeah. So, and I think taking guys down, you got to be sure. Like if you're going to be like Hicks is coming down or Roop's going, whatever it is, there can't be a Jimmy Jack back and forth thing. It has to be like, hey, we're sold on this and we're doing it like this. Cause you know, you put Roop in the bullpen and bring Birdsong up and then Birdsong struggles and then you swap them back. It's just like, no, that's not good. So I feel like the same way that Fitzgerald was saying the confidence that he's getting from not having to worry about getting sent down when he was slumping. I mean, look at this guy. He had a home run today. He's been the last, 5 or 6 games. I think this whole series, he's been doing a lot different than up till that. And people say Barry Bonds in the cage. People say his back, whatever it is. I love to see a fast guy be able to get on base. So I'm hoping Fitzgerald just keeps it going.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of those things. And I don't think he was fully healthy for the first 2 weeks. And I really
Anthony doesn't like fit.
Anthony, really?
No, come on.
I've been a Fitz fan since last year, and I wanted to see what he was going to do in a full season. So I guess we're going to find out this year. And we might have to check in. Might have to check in with Salvo over the weekend since the Giants are going into Anaheim.
You think he cares?
See how he's feeling about all that.
I wonder if
Sure
he's
he
like,
does. He's an Angels fan.
Yeah, I just never know how serious he is. You think he's going to a game?
He might be going to a game. Stropel might. I'll have to check in with those guys and see. But last time I ran into Salva out in the wild when we weren't skating, it was like an art show or some kind of deal. And dude, that's all he wanted to do was talk ball for 20 minutes. So,
that's cool.
He's in. He's in.
Well, I got some news.
So how'd you like? Okay.
No,
go at it.
I think I'm delayed on you or something again. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I've got my internet fucking up. I just was curious how you like that Hicks beaning Turner and then immediately picking him off.
So I was not, unfortunately, when I was watching that, I was on the phone and so the sound was off. I was super confused. That's why I text you. Was Trey Turner pissed off that he got picked off, or was he thinking that he threw at him and he was mad about that? Like, it was weird. I didn't know what was going on.
It's a combination of things. Like, if you plunk a guy and you know how hard Hicks throws, it's like, I think he hit him with a mid-90s fastball, right? So when you plunk a guy and he's over at first base trying to shake it off, it's kind of like, man, what a fucker. And then you throw over right away. Like, guys get ticked, man. They don't like it. It's like the unwritten rules, right? Like, and it's like, good on Hicks for doing that, and he was salty because he was getting squeezed by Phil Cuzzy, and it was like, it just was crazy. And then that weird uncalled strike when Turner was in the box talking to Cuzzy up there after the other thing, like the next at bat, it was like, there was some weird shit going on. And like, I always thought Trey Turner was kind of a class act and didn't get too bummed out about things. But today he seemed like he was a little bit wah. So,
well, good. I did like it. I did like it. I do think that Hicks kind of seems to be more of a quiet guy. And today he came out of his shell and showed the spice. And I think it was really sick to see. Like, I think this guy has a lot of determination and he has a lot of pride, and he really wants to do what he's set out to do. He might hear some of the rumblings, like put him in the bullpen, etc. But what people might not understand is this guy bought a place in San Francisco, very close to the ballpark, and all off season went to the ballpark every day and worked on stuff with training, conditioning, and all kinds of things to try to improve from last year to make it as a starting pitcher through the whole year. So his determination is there. And when you see something like what happened today and him get fiery, that's the guy I want on my side, So I got respect for him on that. But I'll tell you, Robbie Ray's, if not equal, he's even more so of a fucking mountain lion tiger guy. Like, you don't want to fuck with Robbie Ray. He's a little shit kicker. I see him like in the street clothes and he's like cowboy boots, like, don't, like, so these guys, I like our team. I was disappointed we lost because I felt like we could have won. And so that kind of bummed me out because you'd rather have a series win, but a series split and conditions and everything coming in after a Yankees game, I'll take it.
Yeah,
and Hicks hitting
and that intensity that Hicks had, I think he hit 101. So the intensity, that obviously the strength work that he did in the offseason he looks more durable, right? He threw over 100 pitches. It's like you got to be strong. You got to have some stamina to do that. And I appreciate that. So I'm not particularly bummed out. I mean, look, they were in every game in the series, like the two they won and then the two they lost. The two they lost were easily winnable games. They just didn't get the timely hitting or, the pitching hiccup today. I mean, otherwise it could be a series sweep for the Giants. I mean, they're definitely playing good ball. Anaheim, hopefully the warm weather does everybody some good, get out of that cold, New York was horrible. Philly was horrible. So
Anaheim should be
down
nice.
South. It'll be a little, the weather should be good. And ball does travel there. That's for sure. So you keep Mike Trout from unwinding on it and should be okay, and they got rid of Moniak, and Colorado got him, and he's like the best player they have now.
Is that right?
Which is crazy. Yeah. Like he's just come alive. I couldn't believe they released him. I was shocked because Moniak's good. but
Angels
apparently the
always
Angels
are
didn't
doing
want him
some
anymore.
weird shit. Well, the Giants got Webb, Roop, and Verlander starting for the 3 games, and I think Saturday the Angels have Hendricks, and so I think
Yeah, and forever Giant Anderson is going to pitch.
Tyler Anderson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
he's
the
pitching
Giants
4
should have
games against the Giants.
a good chance of. I mean, they should easily take 2 of 3, but I might have to pull out my new broom. That's what I'm hoping is we can go down and get a nice sweep and come home and start our home series because Milwaukee's going to be tough. As no matter how they're playing, Milwaukee's
You
going to
think
be
so?
tough. Milwaukee, yeah, for sure. The Jackson Churio, some of these guys are really good players.
Yeah. Well, the last game I went to with my dad at Oracle, the Giants played the Brewers and smoked them. So I'm hoping for that. And it was I can't remember if it was Woodruff pitching, but the Giants just got a first pitch to Austin Slater, first pitch of the game, he hit into the bullpen. So
Austin Slater didn't
good.
like that guy.
Austin Slater.
I was gonna.
Where is he now?
He was in Cincinnati, and then he went to the White Sox. He's in Chicago, but I think he's hurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna say
probably
something
better than to be on the field.
I was gonna say something to you that would be upsetting. I think I was gonna tell you that I thought Lamont Wade was this year's Austin Slater.
Too soon to tell.
Yeah, it is, and
you can throw all the Lamont mud at the end of the month if he's still sucking. I'll take it. I'll paint a target on my chest.
As Lou was saying the other night, I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Yeah, Babe Rocks, good to see you, man. Thanks for chiming in. Val Ramos is in the house. Not a fan of Slater either. Val's my morning bro. I see him. We do this thing called surfing the chats where we go in until we just can't handle it anymore, and then we go to another one until you can't. And it's just, oh my God, some of these are so quick in and out, and the other ones are like, oh, this one has a good guest. I can deal with this. But then there's other ones where like some of the guys in there are just like completely just insane, talking about the dumbest things, and like none of it makes any sense. And you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, wait a minute.
So you guys
might be 6 years old. Who knows?
So you guys are chat tourists. That's funny. Have you gone on Lund's thing on his stream?
I like Lund's. Lund's is way better than KMBR.
Yeah, he was actually doing a pretty good one on the Giants today that I caught a little bit of. And I don't know. What was the screen name of that guy that was on Eric and Glenn's channel the other night that was just
the stupid child
jerk.
Right?
The stupid child.
Yeah.
Man, some people are characters, I mean, it's like you're catfished by, I don't know what, some guy sitting in his mom's basement playing Call of Duty and chatting on YouTube at the same time. Who knows?
So what is Christian Cooper's backup catcher catastrophe solution?
Somebody else?
That's not a good answer. That is a horrible answer.
No, we've gone round and round about this, and the reality is a guy's got to at least be good on one side of the ball. He's either going to be a decent defender or he's got to be a decent hitter. He can be subpar in the other category, but you got to do one well. Casale had the defensive. He had a little bit better defensive skills. Batting, horrible. Okay. Blake Sable could hit. It's bad on defense. Got too many catchers interference calls, right? But Sam Huff today displayed horribleness on both sides of the ball. And that's what really, like, that's when I just can't stand it, because it's like Patrick Bailey can't be in every game, and you got to have somebody that can back him up enough. Huff had 2 pass balls today, right? And he was 0 for 4 with 4 strikes. I mean, his swing is like watching drunk guys play softball. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see that. I mean, you just terrible swing at 3 bad pitches in a row and back to the dugout. Like, he spent all of 45 seconds in the batter's box and in a bat. Come on, man.
Well,
so that's my beef.
I hate to say it, but Patrick Bailey is not doing much better with the bat. I'm concerned about what we have to replace Huff. I don't think that it's going to get any better. And so I don't know if a trade is coming or what, but I got to think that Buster Posey, a former great catcher, and Bomel, these guys are probably paying a lot of attention to the catching, I hope. So hopefully some fixing will be done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you can always come by a backup catcher. Whether or not that backup catcher is going to fit your program and be effective, that's the question. So Anthony's saying Stassi's better defense. I think I'd have to agree with that. As far as the other side of the ball, I don't think he can do much, but if he's going to give you solid defense, then hey, there's always going to be one black hole in the batting order, right? There's always going to be one guy. If it's your backup catcher, no big deal. You put him in the 9 spot, let the lineup turn over.
So here's what
I don't know. I don't know why it's such a thing for me, man. I really don't know, thing. But it is.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Getting back to kind of what I said earlier, is I think we can all agree Jung-Hoo Lee is our best hitter. So when you're taking somebody out of the lineup and putting in your worst hitter, don't give your best hitter the day off that same game. That's kind of what I was thinking, is like, why, if you're taking Bailey out and having this hole where Huff is, then keep Jung-Hoo Lee, give Jung-Hoo Lee maybe tomorrow off, first game in Anaheim. You're already given, did they give, no, Ramos played. They gave somebody, Wilmer, he didn't play either. So it was like Wilmer and Jung-Hoo Lee, arguably our 2 biggest run producing, hitting guys, both out the same game. To me, if I'm managing, I separate that. And so there's a little more chance with the bats. That's all. Yeah. Marty is saying,
and I think if the Giants, no, I think Koss.
I don't think Matos is going anywhere.
No. I think the only reason, like I said before, that they're playing so many games in a row without a day off. And I think Melvin was just like, I'm just going to take this opportunity to sit a bunch of my main starter guys and give them some rest and see what the other guys can do, So I want to see Schmidt get his swing back,
He was swinging at those what you were doing. To be fair to the Giants, though, they have faced some really good pitching to start this season out. I mean, Hunter Green is probably a Cy Young candidate, right? Ladola was really good. The pitching tonight was really good. So let's get home and beat up on the Angels, because I don't think they have great pitching. And then the Brewers are spotty at best with their starting pitcher. Is Freddie Peralta going to come out, or like, who are we going to see when they come in? So I'm looking forward to the next 6 or 7 games. And then Texas comes to town, and it's Brandon Crawford celebration weekend with Bruce Bochy on the other side of the diamond. So that'll be fun too. I think the next week's going to be really uplifting and fun.
Yeah, and it's Easter Sunday coming up this Sunday. So hopefully the Giants find a big win in their Easter basket on Sunday, right?
Speaking of Easter basket,
What do you got?
You know what the Easter Bunny brought me today? Dun-dun,
I think it's going to be a number 51.
Yes, sir.
How much did
Jung
that ding you
Lee.
up? 200?
No, I think it was 139 or something like that.
Oh, I got to get one of those if that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
it's not
really?
it's not the official one. It's like the whatever.
That's a
the
replica, I know.
replica. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the real ones are 350, 375.
I can't do that. But I did think, as old as I am, this might be my last jersey purchase.
Break the bank for a little while and keep it cool. Yeah, I need to get a road gray, but I like that. I like the look of that. So,
Johnny, you got to tell us. How can we? I can't just, you got to let us know. You got our email. Hey, I'm going on Eric tonight. You want to come on here? You're always welcome. We'd love to have a guest on from time to time. We've had Coleman, Chardal. You could be next. I think, was it Val that came on, or was it Mike? One of those guys came on real early, one of our first live shows. But yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to bring Johnny in on a future stream when we get something going. So yeah, we should do another morning grind sometime soon, maybe early next week, and then just keep it going. Beat the Angels. What I want to see.
Oh yeah. I was taking a look at around the league. Arizona won again 6-4. They're 12-7. They're just a game behind us, and now the Dodgers went up a game on us, and San Diego continues winning. So yeah, the National League West, I learned today. Are you aware that the American League has not one team with more than 11 wins in the entire American League, all three divisions? And the National League West has 4 teams with 12 wins. So we would be in first place
National
in
League
every
West
other division. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's how competitive the NL West is. And isn't it great that there's like 4 teams all battling it out, like really close records? That's exciting to me. That's when those series come along, if things are this tight, dude, that's going to be some legit baseball rivalry right there. Because now it's like a 4-way battle. I like it. Yeah. Hey, did you catch Greg Papa today?
No.
Did you listen to Greg Papa at all?
No.
I had to run out and do some stuff in town, and I was listening, and they were reminiscing about Kapler and the whole Yastrzemski batting approach, which was really interesting, because I guess Kapler and Farhan's thing was like, we just want you to hit home runs. We don't care if you strike out a bunch. And it's like, how is that a winning philosophy in baseball? Like at Oracle Park, with those guys.
He felt that if you swung at a pitch that you couldn't do a lot of damage with, you were jeopardizing hitting into a double play, or just it was better to take that pitch than to swing at it, because you can't do damage and wait. They talked about this on the radio and very publicly, and that was their strategy. And I think that really did affect Yaz. He's obviously hitting to the opposite field now, and he's looking like a lot different Yaz. And as much, I got to be the first to say, I was pretty negative on Yaz in the offseason, and so far he's definitely proven me wrong. He's a fabulous defender. I've always said that, but his offense, wasn't there, and he seemed to get hurt a lot, kind of similar to Wade. But this year, he's done a lot. He's doing great, man.
Yeah, he is, and I think that he kind of looks similar, but maybe even better to the Yaz that first came into San Francisco. Because if you remember, he was pretty damn good when he first showed up, and everybody was hyped on him, And then he got into that bad swing path thing, and the other thing they were talking about today was the notion of like a 2-strike hitting approach, that those guys didn't want dudes to shorten up with 2 strikes. They were like, just swing away, swing for the fence. It's like, come on, man. That's not a winning formula.
No. Well, it's clear to me that the number one thing, because this has been a huge topic, they keep talking about like, it's the same team, basically. This is basically Farhan's team, but why are they winning? What's the difference? And the obvious thing to me is Jung-Hoo Lee, straight up. This dude is a fucking spark plug, and he wasn't playing last year. He was hurt all year. And then Wilmer and Yaz were, and Wade, all 3 of those guys were up and down health wise. So far this year, knock on wood, everybody's healthy. That's huge. Having Wilmer feel his best, having Jung-Hoo Lee playing center every game. And then the mentality of not swapping out people all the time and making moves and, just having the stability, all that goes into the blender and you get this beautiful smoothie.
Absolutely. And I think like Adames being a hype man kind of adds to it. I think that Jung-Hoo's approach and his attitude and the way that he's playing the games, like how can you not be stoked if you're on the same team as that guy? Right. So,
and I was watching
Anthony Chapman homer today.
Yeah. I was watching a little bit of Marty Lurie's show earlier, and he had a woman on. I think she's a Cubs fan. So she had seen Adames a lot as the Cubs play the Brewers many times each year. And she just kept saying, you guys wait till Adames clicks. He hasn't clicked yet. And once he clicks, the whole Bay Area is going to start buzzing. She's like, this guy is awesome. He's really fun to watch, and he strikes out a lot, but he does a lot of great things. So I think the best is definitely ahead of us where that's concerned. And so my 2 takeaways from all this is we are winning and not everybody is playing their best yet. But the other thing is, when you look at the National League West, you got the Padres 15-4, the Dodgers 14-6, the Giants 13-6, and the Diamondbacks 12-7. The Rockies are 3-15. Like literally, this is sad. The Rockies is just such a, it's crazy. But what I think is that this goes into you talking about how you don't like the new schedule. It's too much everywhere and not enough concentration into what the teams are. We haven't played anybody, and I don't think anybody has except for the Rockies. So once everybody starts playing each other, these numbers could change a lot. Like if we win 3 out of 4 from one of these teams, that's going to be a huge difference. Now, if we split, it stays the same, obviously. But once we start playing each other, I think the margins will be a little more glaring to see who's actually the dominant team. The Dodgers seem like, I don't know what's going on with them, but they don't have enough all-stars apparently. They need more all-stars.
Yeah, they didn't pack the roster with enough talent and spend enough money yet. So best case scenario, look, Ramos gets it going because he's been kind of sluggish at the plate. Adames gets it going with the bat. A lot of the other guys can just keep sort of on hill where they're at. And I think that, you could potentially pull away from Arizona and are already pulled away from Colorado. And then I like the Giants' chances against the Dodgers almost better than the Padres at this point. I mean, before the season, I was predicting the Padres were going to be a 4th place team. I definitely need to sort of like reevaluate where I was coming from, because either the Padres are playing way above their pay grade or they really are that good. I mean, Arise hasn't done much of anything. It's like you would think with a guy like that, I mean, not playing well, it's crazy.
Well, the Padres have an unbelievable bullpen. It's crazy to think how good their bullpen is after losing Tanner Scott, who's, a great relief pitcher, yet he has not looked great in LA. He's got some saves, but they've been dicey. Like he's looking a little Duvall out there. But the Padres getting Pivetta, right before the buzzer, their staff, they seize Pivetta. They're not really missing a beat with, isn't Musgrove out the whole year?
Musgrove's gone for the year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
don't
it's
know. They're looking good, but we'll see. It is early, and you know me, Tatis is a beast. I'll say it till, if I could get anybody on the Giants, it would be Tatis.
yeah, yeah, and you know that the Padres are like thanking whatever good fortune befell them to get rid of Profar and not be stuck with that, saddled with contract, and the guy's on an 80-game suspension.
Dude.
That's just insane.
Oh, that's a bad
So,
look. Yeah, talking about that, around the league stuff, I saw that the Pittsburgh Pirates were having some real big issues with their ownership and how I don't know if you saw any of this stuff about the Buco bricks and the Clemente decal and how they're just kind of fucking up a little bit for the fans' perspective. And today the owner actually sent out an apology because all the bricks that were out, similar to the Giants, the bricks in the front, everybody pays for and they put their names on them or an insignia.
right.
All these bricks got torn out
Right.
and just taken to the dumps, and nobody told anybody about it. And so there's these photos of the bricks just in piles in the dumps, and people are livid. It's like, that was for my grandpa, that was for my dead uncle, like whatever. And it was like this real special thing. And so that was really crazy to see. And then at the same time, this guy Jorge Lopez got suspended for 3 games for throwing a ball that was really close to McCutcheon's head. And I don't know. To me, it seemed like the ball just got away from him. But it's crazy how they suspend one guy and then something else happens similar. There's not consistency, is what I think.
Yeah, it's weird. And that whole thing with McCutcheon, like I was watching highlights of that, right? And he buzzed him. I don't know if it was intentional or not. The announcers have said, "Oh, that's a wild pitch," like right out of the gate. But then I don't know if the guy was like mean mugging McCutcheon or McCutcheon was just salty because he gets plunked a lot, and he was like, "Dude, you're throwing at my head now," right? Like I think he's had issues with guys before, right? And like, I don't know, they were barking and everything got kind of crazy. The bullpen's empty, the whole deal, but whatever. And just back to that whole Pirates thing with the Clemente thing, taking down the number. Okay, no, right? That would be the same as like pulling down Jackie Robinson's number at Dodger Stadium or pulling down Willie Mays' number at Oracle. I mean, he's just not done. Right.
Yeah, it is
these are the heroes of, these are like the heroes of the game, not the stars of the game, the heroes of the game. And so to disrespect them in any way, shape, or form, I'm sorry, but sell the team.
Sell the team. Sell the team. Speaking of sell the team, the A's got an 8-0 win today because they're playing the White Sox. But let me tell you, the Athletics' beginning of a 3-year stay in Sacramento has been anything but beautiful. A lot of disasters going on up there. And it's just sad to see. I really wish this guy would sell the team and let this. I was talking to a guy today. He's got an A's hat on. I was like, "You're sticking with him, huh?" He's like, "Have to." Ben, he told me the history of his whole family, this and that. And I'm like, man, some of these fans are so passionate and they just got screwed by an owner that just is blowing it so badly. And I feel bad for him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the very least, they should have like taken out 1-year leases on the Coliseum just for the fans, man. Like, who wants to commute from Oakland to Sacramento to go to a baseball game in a minor league park? And then all the other teams coming in and then grousing about it, like, "Oh, we shouldn't have to play here." It's like the whole thing's a mess. But yeah, sell the team. Messy. All about selling the team.
I also want to point
out, I think it's just about time.
I want to point something out. Right now we have 14 people in the chat, yet my giveaway thing says 8. And the way the giveaway thing works is you have to go into the chat and make a comment for you to register for the drawing. I want to give away baseball cards every show. This is something that I've been doing, and it's been unannounced and unofficial, but I want to continue to do it. So please, if you're interested in that, make at least one comment each show, and then you will be able to have a chance at the drawing. And I'm going to show you tonight's, I got a little care package again. And we're going to start it off with Christian Cooper artwork, this wonderful Skaters on Baseball sticker. Okay. That's available along. Okay. So I don't know. Should we do it, Christian? Should we do a little review? Whose sticker is better? Who's got the better sticker?
Well, at least I had the good taste not to put our faces on it, you know.
You tell me. Okay, so coming with, we're gonna throw in the Sports Talk Live sticker, a Skaters on Baseball sticker, and 2 baseball cards. We got Mike Krukow in a Cubs uniform.
Wow.
1978 tops. And we got Forever Giant, rest in peace, 1982, second baseman. Can you guess his name?
Let's see it in the chat.
Joe
Morgan.
All right. So, like I said,
That's
there's only
serious card.
Are you guys ready for the drawing? Has everybody that's watching made a comment in the chat? Because the number is higher that actually is watching the show than is involved in the drawing. So I just want to give you a minute to. Yeah, there you go, Walker L. Yo, you just bumped it up. Let's go. We got 5 more people that need to make a comment according to my math over here. Gonna give you a let's go, Valrama. Let's go. Hey, come on, guys. This is a one of a kind in my collection, and I'm letting it loose. So this got put under my door by the one and only Glenn. So come on, man. Let's get it going. Toby Fuentes says, let's go. Okay.
Toby's in.
Here we go then.
He's slipping stuff under your door now. That's creepy.
Well, he got sent back to Canada. So we'll see. He's claiming he's stuck up there and he's not going to be able to get to see his WNBA in person after all.
Oh, no. Sell the tickets.
He's like, what am I going to do? Okay, so we're going to go with a drawing here. And are you guys all ready? You got 3 seconds to make a comment if you haven't already made a comment, because somebody just went. Austin T.
Austin T jumped
there
in.
You go. Thanks for doing it, baby. All right, we're gonna go. Toby Fuentes, you have won. Wow! Let's tell him what he won, Bob. Well, he won a Sports Talk Live sticker, a Joe Morgan Giants card, also a Mike Krukow on the Cubs tops 78, and the boys have just made more stickers, and we're happy to throw in a Skates on Baseball sticker. Thanks, everybody, for playing the game. And remember, we like to give away things over here because it's just fun.
Yeah,
so
I think Toby was actually on Eric and Glenn's show a little few nights back, maybe. The avatar looks familiar.
I've seen Toby around. He's been in our show a couple of times too. So that's cool, guys. Just a reminder, in the future, if you're just wanting to watch, maybe just type in hello or anything just to register, because I want to do this every show. And when Christian gets back home in LA, he's going to pull out Candy Maldonado. So we'll have some fun little blast from the past and then current stuff and just keep it exciting. So that's what we do. And we like to give back because you guys join us, and that's what brings us smiles. Catch my fantasy
thanks
thumbnail.
for showing up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a fantasy show soon. We're gonna have to get some of these guys in here and talk about this because I'm in dead last. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, I discovered why I was so far down in the rankings because I was doing it wrong.
Well, you didn't have some of your players playing, right? Is that what it was? Some of your guys.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't realize I actually had to do stuff in there. I thought it was just let it go, dude. Stupid, man. I was like, I went on there and went, oh, I'm not playing these guys that are having like 4 for 4 with a home run and a triple and so.
Well, my guys are all in the lineup. They're just not producing. But I'll tell you, your guy Corbin Carroll, he's starting to get hot. Look out! He's been one of my best guys on the team.
You know, I got Jung-Hoo and Chapman in my lineup, so come at me.
Hey, are we starting to catch fire, guys?
Yeah.
Fitzgerald, Chapman, Adames needs to still break out of it, but like there's a lot of good about to that's happened, and it's about to happen more. And I'm excited about our team. I've been excited since the off season when Posey started and then got Adames, and I think this weekend's going to be really telling. I think Sunday is a huge game for Verlander. I think it really is. I think Verlander, Ray, and Hicks, those three in between Roop and Webb, that's the guys that need to tighten up ship. They got a higher ceiling than what we've been seeing. And I think, the beginning is over. So let's stabilize, guys. We're on the Giants now. Hopefully we got houses and we got a place. Like, the beginning's kind of hectic. So let's get home, settle in, and start throwing like really good gems, because our pitching has been what has, we've always had good pitching. So we got to continue that. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Almost 3 out of 4. The recovery 716. I feel it. Well, thanks, guys. That's pretty much all we got. We're going to probably bounce around. Might head over to Glenn and Eric's for a little bit and see what they're yapping about. But we'll see you soon. If not sooner, we'll definitely be on after the Angels series for another series recap. But if things are cracking on the weekend and both of us have some time, we'll try to chime in. So if you're not already, please subscribe. That's the way you get to learn when our next show is. I always put it in hours before, so you have time to realize like, okay, it's happening at this time. And we want to see you live if you can. So please stop by and join the ruckus, throw in some comments, throw in some what you're thinking, and everyone's welcome, and your opinions are all welcome. And we don't always have to agree, because we always won't. So that's part of the beauty. And the other part that I love the most is win, lose, tomorrow's another game. So that's the beauty of baseball for me.
Right.
Don't have to wait a week.
Yeah.
Got any last words, Christian?
Let's go down there and kick some Angel ass. No, just want to see the Giants come out strong against the Angels, win that series, and come home on a high note, and just go at it one day at a time. Get those W's. That's what I'm looking for.
Peace, Walker L. Thanks for everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skaters on Baseball. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word. Give us a good review, or hell, blow us up on your social media if you're down. Follow us at Skates on Base on Instagram for baseball news and other fun stuff. We love comments and listener participation, so bring it with an audio clip or an email. You can email us at skatersonbase@gmail.com. We're everywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll be here all season long.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
Dude, that was one of the most mind-blowing shows I've seen to this day.
Much love.
Adios! Pelota!
See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.